Hello, dear viewer, and welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland ABW Live for the Arsenal 1, Olympiakos 2. I was going to say Olympiakos didn't, but that's not right, is it? I am not Josh Daw, and with me tonight it's only Ellis. Where have you been, cheeky?
I was trying to type in the chat box on this different window, and it was really hard to unmute. I've just been at work, busy, I guess. I think every single radio show has just clashed with my shifts, so it's been a bit shit recently.
Have you got any inside goss on the coronavirus?
No, but I was the designated coronavirus swabber after all the children in my area realised that it was in northern Italy and they all went to a ski trip there, so all their parents were shitting themselves and bringing their very well children in for a swab to test if they had coronavirus, even though they didn't even have a cough. So there you go.
Well, they should be mean like me when Sean was younger. I said, "You're not going anywhere foreign." They'll never, because she looks foreign. They'd never let her back in because our ancestry is Italian and Irish. They'd have gone, "No, you're not coming back," and she probably would have loved it. Anyway, yes, it's also the man is someone there hiding in the darkness. No one knows who it is because I've got the names turned off. So who does everybody think? I've actually tweeted it, haven't I? It's only Gav from She-War, right, cheeky?
No,
well, that's that sorted. All right, we should explain where Josh is. Josh is meant to do the show tonight, but Josh has to get up early for work in the morning. And plus, I think where he is up north, aren't they? Like 3 hours ahead of us or behind us? No, it's 10 years behind. That's what they are. So it's still the end of World War II there. And so things aren't very good. So I must tell the truth, dear viewer and listener. I haven't really seen much of the game because I realised it was dog shit. I was listening to Ian Lee on Talk Radio and I was playing a little bit of War Thunder and I was doing cheeky tweets to try and wind people up and no one fell for it. So the first thing we can do is talk about the lineups. Gav, when you saw the original lineup, what was your thoughts? Did you think, bloody hell, we're going to be lucky to get away with this? Or did you think, we're going to walk away with it like I did? I thought we were going to smash them 3-1.
Yeah, I thought we'd smash them, to be fair. I mean, I don't think you could have put out a better lineup. The only one you could have really complained about, who was a bit unlucky not to be included tonight, either on the pitch or on the bench, was Eddie. But obviously he's got Eddie in mind for the next game on Sunday against Pompey. But yeah, no, that lineup should have smashed them. It's just fucking disappointing, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I, for one, don't really care. Good news, Ellis. We're no longer doing podcasts on a Thursday, so that's a good thing, isn't it? We can do let's concentrate on the league. 6th place could be ours. What's your thoughts on the lineup, Ellis?
Yeah, similar sort of view to Gav, really. Quite a strong lineup. I felt quite confident. I was probably surprised at how strong the lineup was, maybe, but I guess this is, or was, I should say, was our only chance, or best chance, I should say, of getting Champions League football. Obviously, it is still potential on the cards with the Man City ban, but playing like that, I don't think it is. I think the only concern I had about the lineup was the sort of midfield three. None of them have really got an engine. They're all quite attacking minded, not really good at running, not really physical players. Ceballos, again, quite technical, still not really sure on him. Ozil, we all know what Ozil is now, and Xhaka, as well as he has been playing under Arteta, he's not the most mobile. So I was sort of, I suppose, a little bit concerned about the mobility of those middle three. But I thought there was probably enough in that team, or should have been enough in that team to get a good result today. But obviously that wasn't the case.
If we look at the teams that have got through, Rangers, I don't know how that happened because that's not even a Mickey Mouse league. That's like one of those Mexican people that dress up as Mickey Mouse in Times Square. That's the kind of league that Rangers are in. So they managed to get through. Lask, I've never heard of. Wolfsburg, half decent German team. Roma, a very good Italian team. Wolves are giving us a run for the top 5 in the Premier League. They're a team that could beat us. Istanbul, another good team. Bayer Leverkusen, very good team. Basel are not right good. Sevilla, they're a decent team. Shakhtar Donetsk, it depends on what time of year it is and whether they're playing their season started yet or have they come in line with the rest of the European calendar. I think they might have changed some of those countries for the Russia World Cup. Copenhagen beat Celtic, and that's Nicholas Benter's team. They smashed them 3-1 at their place. I read a tweet that said Copenhagen have scored 6 goals in their last 7 Europa League games, and they scored 3 tonight against Celtic. But I think we're upset. Ajax, one of the best young teams in European football at the moment, they lost 2-1 at home to Getafe, and they lost away to Getafe. But the big news is Inter Milan are through and Man United are through. Gav, looking at all those teams that are through, have you seen Inter Milan play this season?
No.
They got Lukaku, Sanchez, and I think his name is Martinez. They got those three up front, and plus they've got Godin at the back, and they've got. We were never. There's most teams in the Premier League wouldn't get past Inter Milan apart from maybe Liverpool, and Man United are on a hell of a run of form. They won 5-0 tonight. Do you honestly think that maybe we had a chance of winning it, or is it a good job that I might as well be out now because we can't win it? Like my defeatist attitude always is.
No. I think we could have. We could have got at least a semi-final place on that lineup.
Yeah, but what would be the point? It's not like in the Champions League days where I think for every game you win, you get £500,000, and I think it's 250 grand for a draw. And then as you get to further and further stages, you get loads of money. Man United won the Europa League a few years ago, and they made 15 million quid from it, or something like that. It's not like you're going to make 50, 60, 70 million. What's the point in wasting all of our Thursdays, wasting all of our time if we're not going to win it? I don't even want to be runners up unless we can win it. You saw that our league form at the end of last season.
Well, we obviously can't fucking win it now, can we? Because we've been knocked out. So that's complete bollocks.
All right,
I mean, unless you're still in it, you can't fucking win it. It's
true.
No, who knows what happened? I mean, we was dreadful tonight.
How
dreadful in the foot.
Of all the games
we was Wenger dreadful tonight. Do you know what I mean? We was Wenger against Bayern Munich dreadful at times.
Would you say this is the worst result that Arteta has had? He's only lost one other, hasn't he?
Yeah, by far. Like I say, I mean, he's put out what is potentially our strongest side.
Yeah.
And it wasn't creating anything. We didn't create. I think our first shot on goal was like the 77th minute or something stupid like that. And we had the ball, and it was tiptoeing and crossing the ball backwards and forwards. And I mean, even though the woman that was on BT drove me absolutely fucking bonkers.
I had to change the channel.
Oh, don't! She drove me absolutely bonkers.
Who's the fat Chelsea fan?
Oh,
you should be Jonathan.
Narrow it down a bit.
Yeah, Jonathan something.
Jonathan Pearce.
That's it. I had to go and listen to him. All for women doing commentary, brilliant. If you get like, I also want to say Kelly Dalglish. It's not Kelly Dalglish, is it? There's so many that are brilliant, but then you get the few that are just. It's like she's gone. Stereotypical sayings for a football commentator. Checkbook said that one, do it again. Say that one, do it again. She was absolute rubbish. I had to turn it off.
Yeah, no, she was driving me mental. But the only one decent thing she said throughout the whole game was the fact that all the crosses we was getting in. There was nobody getting in front of the defender. They were all sort of standing in the middle. There was no... and like I say, the first half, really, it was just too much going down the right and nothing decent coming through in the middle. And, yeah.
Rudy's put here, good evening all, my Arsenal is back. Loki's put that Jonathan Pearce is a CNT. I don't know what that possibly mean.
That must highlight how poor that first half is the only highlight we've got is how bad the commentary was.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean much by watching John. I think we have an Olympiakos fan here. Is Olympiakos the best? Yeah, if we'd have won
his name, Danny?
His name is Panagoutis Siapakas.
Perfect pronunciation.
Yeah, I was thinking that if we'd have won that game, if we'd have got through, the first thing I'd have said is, Olympiakos fans, you were robbed. You deserve to go through tonight. And that's when it looked like we were going through. And we ended up didn't going through. Ellis, put your finger on what the problem was tonight. Or do you need 10 fingers to point at each one of the shit 10 players that you're going to blame?
Oh, I thought you were going to make a Norwich inbred joke then when you started going on about fingers.
Your 12 fingers.
There we go. Oh, God. I think I do need a few digits to really point out how many things are wrong with that. The main problem, I think, is just our ability to create anything. There was points when we could have countered and we just slowed it down and it broke down. It was just the final ball, that sort of ball to break the line, getting past their defence, just wasn't really on. It was just sideways sort of shoe-horse fucking passing again. We never really utilised Xhaka or Pepe on the wings. We never really played into space. It just sort of would get to one of those. Pepe was sort of trying to make things happen, dribbling, sometimes cutting in and back too many fucking times, but he didn't really have much support. And I found his decision making with passing was a bit poor at times. Bellerin would go on the overlap and he'd just completely ignore him, or he'd be stood there with his arms in the air like calling for a pass when the pass wasn't really on. I thought the movement of the front three was pretty poor. Alba, Lacazette, Pepe, the movement wasn't amazing. There was nothing really there. I think obviously Arteta's brought us in and made us a lot more organised. Obviously not if you look at the 2 goals you've conceded, but it just wasn't there. The movement and the passing and the final ball, it wasn't good enough really, and we weren't really good enough with the possession.
Well, how many stray passes did we string about in the first half? Do you know what I mean? There was passes that were like 10 metres off going out. You know, I think there was 2 of them that were about 10 metres off, and they were going out. And I think the story of our first half was it was just too many passes that were just completely going astray. Just completely astray.
Or they weren't. They would go to the marker, but it'd make them sort of take a step too close to the defender, or make them take an awful touch. It just wasn't crisp enough, and it was really hard to build any sort of attacking momentum with the passing that we had on the pitch.
CKND has said who was a man of the match. Now I've had a look, and it was their centre back, the one that was 6'8". You know, the one that Torreira was marking for the corners.
Did you see it in the first half as well? Fucking Matthew Valbuena, all 4 foot nothing of him, won an aerial duel between Ceballos and Ozil. And yeah, they're not probably known for their fucking aerial ability, but to get out-jumped by a fucking borrower, oh, fuck me.
So Cisse got an 8.3 and a goal, and he was magnificent. There's so many Cisses. I don't know whether it's one who's ever played in England. We've had quite a few. And the worst player of the night was Lacazette with a 5.8. Absolute shocking from him tonight. We thought that maybe that was over because he's had a couple of goals in a couple of games, a couple of poachers' goals, which hopefully kind of sort him out, but it didn't. Talking about the tactics, Gav, I noticed. Now, I'm not usually one for watching tactics, but you can only see this one. I'm going to try and explain this for people listening as well as people watching. We've got our back 4. Saka would then go down the left-hand side, and quite a lot of the time, Saka would be in their half on the left-hand side. And then you'd have Xhaka flirting around his own defensive midfield area and then covering the left-back slot. And then that was working perfectly because then Saka could bugger off as much as he wanted and then Xhaka would drift back in there. But when it came to the right-hand side, and Bellerin was doing the same thing, and Bellerin in the first half spent so much time in their opposition half doing what can only be described, I mean, I'm a Bellerin fan, by the way, can only be described as god-awful, dog shit, runs and passes and crosses. It was head down, as Jace always says they do head down football. He does heads down crosses, which is no bloody good because they don't go anywhere. And then when Bellerin would make the run up the right hand side, Ceballos would go, well, I'll look in the direction of right back, but I'm not doing what Xhaka does, where Xhaka physically goes to left back to cover the position when Saka's gone. Ceballos went, if I look in that direction, that may well do it. And then we got absolutely no cover on right back or the right hand side. And then I thought, well, maybe I'm misreading this. Maybe Xhaka goes in at left back, then you've got Luiz at centre back, and then Mustafi is all gonna, little one said roll over.
All going to shift over.
Yeah, we're going to shift over. That didn't happen either. What's going on? I mean, you've played a bit of football in your days, and so's Ellis. Have you got any idea why they were doing it? And why, if I know nothing about football tactics, how the fuck could I see that and could see that they're coming down their left, our right, over and over and over and turning us inside out? And it even got to the point where Bellerin, you could see him breathing out of his arse trying to run back. That's a long fucking question, wasn't it? I'll carpet as that.
Yes.
Thank you. That's balanced it up. Come on, talk a little bit about that situation because ridiculous.
No, I mean, the first half. I mean, especially the first half. Too much was going down the right, and they was trying the overlaps. And I thought Pepe was doing his best to be a little bit of a tricky. I thought he was doing his best. He's cutting inside. He's going outside. He's I don't think, I mean, some people were saying how well their left back was playing, but I thought Pepe was giving him a torrid time. It's just the final ball where there was nobody in the middle that was the problem. But I don't know. I weren't feeling Ceballos tonight. I don't know. Like I say, other people might have other opinions. I don't know. I just weren't feeling it. I was surprised he stayed on the pitch. I was surprised Ozil stayed on the pitch for so long as well. And I was surprised Lacazette stayed on the pitch for so long. Well, I mean, I would have subbed all of them at fucking half time, to be honest with you.
We're talking about Ozil. As I didn't know I was hosting people, I haven't got my timeline of what happened at what points. We're zigzagging all over the place. But I mean, the second half of extra time when the Aubameyang goal, I thought that's a really good cross from Ozil. And I remembered, well, he's walked around for an hour and a half, hasn't he? So of course he's got plenty of energy. Ellis, what was your thoughts on the right back situation? The whole covering, like Gav was saying, Ceballos didn't look like he was up for it, and he didn't look like he could be bothered to run back there.
No, and it was a strange one, really. There was some comments from Arteta quite recently after the when we went to Dubai for the winter break a week or two, and he said that he was like an animal in training, so that's why he's got back into the first team and getting chances. But I didn't see any of that today. I think like I highlighted when I saw that midfield three, I thought there isn't much energy there. I haven't really seen much of Ceballos tracking back, and we know Ozil, he doesn't really do that himself either. So I did think whatever side of the field, the right side, was going to be a bit difficult with him. I don't think he really offered much to Pepe when he was up there. It seemed more often than not Pepe would be a bit isolated. Bellerin might try and run the overlap. Pepe would make the wrong ball. Bellerin would be halfway up the field there, and then no one was covering him because Ceballos couldn't be asked to track back. And you highlighted it perfectly earlier when you were having your little moan about it. It was just...
my War and Peace moment where I was on about it for an hour.
Like you said, it's quite obvious to see that as a big hole there. And I again agree with Gav. I'm not really sure why Torreira didn't really come on to fill that hole. I think out of a midfield three like that, you probably want at least one person who is not more defensively minded, but at least has the energy to sort of fill in at the gaps that were left behind when your right back bums forward, and that certainly isn't Ceballos, and it obviously didn't materialise when we played the game.
Yes, about 9 minutes ago, J-Rob stuffed a couple of €30 down your pants, Ellis. He says, all right, chaps, I don't know. I think J-Rob has summed that up perfectly. I think we might have another Olympiakos fan here who says mono and then something else. I don't know what you mean, but you're going to get no grief from us. You deserve the win. You were by far the better team tonight. I'm going to scroll down and see if anybody's put anything else in there.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, right now I can't keep looking at them and asking questions and tweeting them because I've only got two hands. Right, I suppose the next bit we should go on to Ellis is their goal. So it was the 53rd minute. Their 8'5" centre back was there with I think it was a half decent goal, wasn't it? Do you want to talk us through the goal? It was Valbuena was working a little bit of magic, all 4 foot tall of him, and exactly double his size, both.
Are we talking about their first goal or their second goal?
Their first.
Yeah, it was from a corner, wasn't it? It was just poor marking. They didn't really track him. When you've got a guy who's that fucking tall, you probably need someone on him trying to get in the way and block it. It's just frustrating, really. When you look at it, I don't think they really troubled us. Obviously, both their goals have come from, well, the second wasn't quite a set piece, but from crosses certainly, and just poor marking, poor positioning defensively. And it's frustrating when you are as blunt as we have been in attack today. The least you've got to do to ensure you go through or ensure you don't lose a game is be solid at the back, and we weren't from the set pieces. I think other than that, they didn't really trouble us, but it's just frustrating, especially when I thought, until obviously he got injured and come off, Mustafi had quite a good game. I think Mustafi and Luiz have both played quite good at centre-back, but they just switched off, or the whole team just sort of switched off. I think it was actually Xhaka was probably the closest to getting ahead on it and just couldn't, and it just went straight through to a guy completely unmarked who is huge. So what are you going to do, really? You can't really stop that when your players switch off. I don't know if that's a player problem or a coach problem, but it's certainly a problem that we need to iron out.
Looking on Wikipedia, his name is Papa Abou Cissé, and there has never been a player more suited to play for Fulham with a name like that than he has. 6'6". He's been at Olympiakos for 3 seasons and scoring lots of goals, 9 goals in 61, and that doesn't even include today. So that's his 10th goal in 3 seasons for them, and they say he's a magnificent player. Gav, what was your thoughts on the goal, or was it just you swearing again?
Yeah,
Tony Happened when I let that in.
Oh no, it's fucking schoolboy, Dan, wasn't it? Let's be honest with you. You know what I mean? It was absolutely fucking schoolboy. They might as well have sat down and let him like just dribble the ball into the corner. Do you know what I mean? It was that bad. You shouldn't have their most dangerous player having a complete free run. Nobody's trying to block him. Nobody's even attempting to mark him. You can't do that. It's just fucking stupid. You deserve to concede a goal when you're defending like that.
Right, as usual, people, give your questions because actually, Ellis is here. He's a pro. Yeah, Ellis is doing it. He's making notes of the questions. So we've got a question here from Philip Bevan. I know a couple of Bevans, and they both lived in Bevan Close with me in Huntingdon. I think Danny is a Liverpool fan, and Lee is a Spurs fan. Dead to me, the pair of them. Philip says, how many players in this squad do you guys feel we need to sell this summer to rebuild a semi-functional team next season? I would say Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil, Sokratis, Kolasinac, Nketiah, and Elneny. Ellis, any players you'd add to that or remove from that?
Aubameyang's the only one who fucking scores goals for us. So if I could tie him down to a contract, I would. I know we're probably going to get onto it about the miss later, but I think I'd like to sell all of them bar Aubameyang. The question is, you ain't going to get really much for, certainly not much from Elneny, Mkhitaryan. Kolasinac, we got him in a free, didn't we? So yeah. I guess any money you make on him is...
Well, Mkhitaryan's having a half-decent season with Roma in Serie A, Italy. I think he scored 5 goals this season, and Elneny's playing every game for Besiktas. He's the only one in the holding midfield.
That's Turkey, isn't it? Like, fuck me.
Well, the Turkish teams have got further in the Europa League than we have this season.
Yeah, good point. But the league is still dog shit. Yeah. And we know Mkhitaryan can't do it in the Premier League. He can do it for United. He can't do it for us. So fucking bin him off. He can keep playing well in Roma for all I care. But like I said, I don't think you're going to get a massive amount of money for anyone there. I think the only person you would get decent amount of money for is Alba. But then I wouldn't want to sell Alba because he's probably our best player.
Gav, any thoughts on that list?
Well, as our friend Simon said a few weeks ago, the player that would probably get us the most money that we could actually replace the cheapest would probably be Leno, which would be a complete shame because he's up there with one of the players of the season for us. I'd say there's so few players in that squad that I have any form of emotional attachment to. I'm being honest.
Oh,
there isn't. I mean,
it's true.
What you mean? You're not attached to Mustafi?
Well, no. I'm said about Mustafi today. He saved us at least twice today.
He's doing well, Mustafi, under Arteta. But like I say, there's no one like there's no Henry, there's no Vieira, there's no Bergkamp, there's no Adams, Rocastle, Thomas.
You're going to make yourself cry. This isn't
I'm
good.
Close to it, Dan. I'm close to it.
Have a swig of beer and we'll move on. Right, we've got a donation here from Petito 100 of $2 dues, American versions. He says Mustafi is going to refuse a contract extension.
Isn't his name like the Irish?
Dan. Going back to the game.
Why?
What did it? I wanted to know what everybody else's feelings was with regards to when Pepe was hacked down on the edge of the box in the first half by Bar.
Yeah. That's a great thing to cover, really, isn't it?
Go on, Ed.
Initially I thought it might have been a penalty. On watching it back, it wasn't in the box. But for me, that's a definite goal-scoring opportunity. He's not played the ball at all, and he's wiped him out in sort of the D at the edge of the penalty area for on goal. So for me, that's a definite goal-scoring opportunity. That should be a red, but hey-ho, the referee wasn't on our side today, and I think Bar made another quite clumsy challenge. He could have easily got a second yellow for him, been sent off.
Yeah, no,
that is the reason we got knocked out of the game. We got knocked out because we're shit, but still, for me, that was a red card. I don't know about what do you think, Gav?
Well, being as a bias as I am, that was a straight red, not even having to think about it.
Straight red and a penalty.
Straight red, penalty, probably sent the keeper off as well. Just in case the keeper was looking the wrong way at the time or something. Do you know what I mean? You would have been if that was one of our defenders, we would have been disappointed if it was a red card. But like I say, it deserved a lot more than the yellow, really. Do you know what I mean? I thought it was a red card. Be interesting to see what everybody else in chat thinks about that, to be honest with you. But for me, I thought it was a red because he was clear on. You know, like I say, he was winding up to have a shot and bang, he took him out.
There was another opportunity as well. Again, Pepe on the ball. I'm not sure if it was Bar. I think it might have been Cisse, actually. One of the centre-backs, anyway. Just completely blocked him off as he was running through on goal again.
That was in the second half, wasn't it?
So I definitely don't think the referee was on our side. I think, I guess it is difficult when you look at a player like Pepe to play devil's advocate. He's a very tricky player and very fast on the ball. His feet are constantly moving. So in his defence, you can probably say it's hard to see, but for me, red card.
Like I say, the first, I looked at it straight away. Said that's a red. That's got to be a red. But the second one that you're talking about, I thought he dived, and then when they slowed it down, he was clearly blocked off. So, and like I say, they've got VAR to help them, and it's, well, like I say, VAR just doesn't fucking work anyway, does it?
Certainly not in the Premier League, anyway.
No. Anyway, I want to say hello to my mate Fat Sam, who's in the chat. I ain't seen him for a while. Hope you're well, fella.
Oh, good. Yes. Right. Someone has made a valid point here. Jay Cons, what a load of shit. Mickey bossed the Bundesliga. Well, that's not what Ellis said. Ellis said he was shit for Man United and he's been shit for us. And as a Borussia Dortmund fan, since the Scottish bloke was playing for Dortmund in the European Cup final. There you go. There's too many things beginning with E. You look at his last season for Dortmund, 31 league games, 11 goals, 15 assists. Well, there you go. That's the Lacazette coming back. Right, and then you look at that. He's got those. That he didn't even replicate that one season's worth of goals and assists in his next 3 and a bit seasons in England. He is a busted flush there. And at the moment in Rome, he scored 4 goals, 1 assist in 10 games. So no one can say that he has been good in England because he hasn't. He's been absolute dog shit from a bloke who got. In his 3 seasons at Dortmund, he got 23 goals and 29 assists in 3 seasons. That's why Man United played the big bucks. And he had 1 good game for us, didn't he, Ellis, where he, against Everton, he came on. He got 4 assists in 1 game, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, it was him and both him and Aubameyang's first game for us.
Well, we thought it was... and also, I think there was another... here we go. There's... the YouTube chat has turned off for the guys then. I don't know what that means. Someone saying Bayern Munich, best team in the world. Well, they're pretty good, only because you've got one of our best players, one of our best youth products. One day might come home. Seeing if there's
can you kick that prick out who just keeps typing United in the chat?
I'm trying to. He's typing too fast. I can't stop him.
Done it.
Oh, there you go. You've got him. You've got him.
Right, let's go and see if Colo's used cars.
Fucking Manchester is.
Oh, there you go. He's just Carlito Bergkamp until someone threw. Hey, that's a good point. Until someone starts throwing a few bucks at this bunch of leeches, we won't change as a club. I think he's referring to the fact that we've got so many players at the club earning so much money, and quite a few of them are not really earning it. But doesn't really matter. For me, I see that we can concentrate. Seriously, we can concentrate. We're never going to win the Europa League. We can concentrate on the Premier League and trying to get top 5. And I think we can do that because we've shown that our form in the Premier League has been pretty decent. I think he's lost 1 Premier League game out of all of them. And as people keep putting in there, we're unbeaten in 2020, now in the FA Cup and the Premier League. It doesn't count for the League Cup or the Europa League. Right, now we're going to move on through the game. We're going to go to, there's lots of substitutions. Torreira come on for Ceballos. Now you're thinking, hold on, I had tweeted, why this is peak Wenger for me. You need a goal, you take off a creative midfielder and you bring on a defensive midfielder, and then it turns out that one of our best shots of the game came from Torreira because at least he was having a go. And then Willock came on for Bellerin. Bellerin had a shocker. Bellerin got an Opta rating of 6.3. And then Willock came on and Willock got an Opta rating of, where have they put him on here? It's not even showing it. 6.1. So that wasn't really a good move, but not his fault. And then Mustafi got an injury and he tried hobbling around and it wasn't really working out. Mustafi had a really, really good game for me. Opta gave him a 7.6, which was... our second best of the game. Pepe got an 8.4. I think that's more for hard work than actual end product. But we'll talk about that Pepe thing, that little shimmy, that the quick hot stepping that he was doing, the alley shuffle that he was doing around all those players. We'll come to that later. And then Martinelli came on for Lacazette, and you're thinking, geez, we are now playing 9 players up front. We've got Leno playing rush goalkeeper. We are throwing everything at these. Ellis, describe the goal, the Aubameyang's world-class goal. And then what did you do as soon as he scored?
I was watching it with my partner who was half asleep, and I jumped up and hit her.
Don't say partner, say girlfriend, because otherwise people might send you dick pics.
Well, okay, my girlfriend, not my male.
Oh, hold on. We've had a donation, Ellis. I need to stop you there, if you don't mind. Sam Ruth has sent us $9.99 dues. Arsenal lost today and saved me $9.99 a month on streaming services. Oh, that's brilliant, Sam. Finally, we can watch matches again on a Saturday as opposed to Sunday and Monday. I agree wholeheartedly, Sam, and thank you very much for your dollary dues. Ellis, you were saying that you were watching the game with your missus.
Yeah, every cloud and all that. Cancelling your streaming service there. I need to cancel BT, really.
Bankrupt.
I was just watching it with my girlfriend, and he scored, and she was asleep, and I whacked her. Bless her. But yeah,
that's what she gets.
It's just, when you just watch a game, you're bored out of your mind. It's a bit shit, and they had that goal. And we were just like, what's going to happen here? It's going to go to, I think we were talking the chat. What?
You say bareback goal?
They got that goal.
I thought you said bareback goal.
I'm very tired. It's quite
late. I was
late.
thinking of Brokeback Mountain. I thought, that's not where this is going. I hope someone put in our WhatsApp a picture of that, didn't they? I thought that's what you're referring to. I'm going to mute myself. Carry on.
I've completely lost track now. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, we were talking about potentially starting the fucking show if it was going to go before it was going to potentially go to penalties. And then obviously Aubameyang scored that. Bubbled up to him, he went for the overhead kick, which he's tried a lot of and failed quite miserably, but obviously hit that one perfectly and it went back in the net. And I'm buzzing and thinking, yes, I'm not going to have to sit through penalties, and we can talk about a shitty draw, but at least we're through to the next round. And obviously that wasn't to happen. So yeah,
don't ruin it in case anyone hasn't. They're relying on us to give them a decent commentary of the game. Gav, Ozil crosses the ball. Martinelli jumps up, gets a touch, and it brings it down to Aubameyang. Aubameyang goes, "Someone hold my beer. I've got this." What was your thoughts with the magnificence of the goal and just everything about it? And then did you think that's it, game over?
I'll be honest with you, my first thoughts were looking at how long there was left in the game. Do you know what I mean? How long have we got to hold on to this? Do you know what I mean? How long can we keep them from having 1 or 2 chances that they're going to need from a corner? But yeah, I did scream a little bit, and I've had muffled shouting at the TV, which is a pretty new thing for me over the last few years. I've stopped shouting at the TV over the last couple of years. But yeah, I was, with the kids asleep and all that, I was muffled shouting at the TV and getting told off for being a little bit too loud. But like I say, me and the missus jumped up when he scored. But like I say, it was just in the back of the head, like, how much time is there left there? Do you know what I mean? It was just, don't know. I just think tonight was just, after the first half, I just think it was fated. It was fated we weren't going to do anything tonight. I actually think, believe it or not, and as much as I like Lacazette, and I don't want to put him down, if Eddie had started tonight, we would have won that.
Eddie's definitely on form, and he's up for it.
It's not even that. The amount of, Lacazette, he works hard. He does all the team stuff. He tracks back. He chases back. He runs about, blah, blah, blah. But like I say, we just needed somebody who would pull back a yard or push forward a yard or get in front of the defender. And that just weren't happening. There was just not enough movement up front. I mean, our forward players tonight, including Ozil, were just not at the fucking races. Do you know what I mean? That's why we lost. It wasn't a defensive issue. It wasn't how we defended. It was just simply the fact there just wasn't the movement. Just wasn't the movement tonight, which is upsetting. That's what's upsetting me.
I think at times Lacazette tries too hard. You shouldn't be able to try too hard and fail at football, but he is so desperate. And even the harshest Lacazette critic will say he's trying, he's getting chances, and just sheer bad luck that they're not going in. He seems to be. Someone said he's got the Giroud curse. I saw that on Twitter and thought, yeah, that sounds about right. Giroud tried really hard.
It's instinct. It's like Ian Wright had that instinct.
Yeah, like I always say, Gav, you could blindfold Ian Wright, spin him on a circle for an hour, and he'd still know where the net is and get it on target.
No, exactly. And like I say, I mean, you could blindfold Bergkamp at the same time, and he'd find him in that spot.
Yeah. But don't go out doing my good analogy with a better one. Stop that.
Oh, okay.
I'll get an inferiority complex.
Okay. But no, I mean, like I say, that's. I don't think Lacazette he's not a natural born killer. As simple as that. Whereas Eddie, possibly, even though Eddie's not given as much to the team, I don't think, but Eddie has got that natural born instinct.
Eddie didn't do it at the end of last season. He spent all of last season with the first team, and then towards the end of the season, he dropped back down at the under-23, scored 7 goals in 9 games. So he still had his lethal ability, and I think Arteta has probably seen that. And
is that a new word? Lethal ability.
Yes, I don't remember saying it, Gav. I can't remember what day it is. Yes,
Dan, you have to say thank you to somebody.
I will do in a second if you shut up. First of all, Luke Howard has made. We actually had a player at Arsenal called Luke Howard. I think he was a goalkeeper. I think he might even work at Arsenal at the moment. He says, "I don't want to be in the Champions League with this team." I was making a point on one of the shows I was on recently. Just think how much money we would have to spend to turn this team into a team that's going to get to the group stage, out of the group stage of the Champions League. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. Right, as Gav pointed out, where's it gone? Here we go. This is from Michael Harniman. He's given us £5 which we're all going to go to shewar.com, and we're going to spend it all on lovely bruised banana gear, aren't we, Gav?
Shewarshop.com, Dan.
That's it. Sorry, can we get anything on there for a £5?
If Michael wants to email me, I'll send him something for nothing.
Michael gives us thousands of pounds. He's like the podcast sugar daddy. Every week he's stuffing money down our pants. That's very kind of you. And he's local. I think he's Stevenage area. He says, no, I only know he's on his Twitter. I'm not giving anything away. He says, no urgency, sloppy, pedestrian and disappointing. Would have played Eddie and got Martinelli on much earlier or even started him.
Yeah, he knows his onions, does Michael.
He certainly does. Right then. Shall I read out a few more? What's going on here? People are saying 3 dots.
Dan.
Yes? Someone else being cheeky?
No, I'm going for a piss. I'll be back in a minute.
Gav, don't ruin the magic. Just disappear into the darkness and then come back.
Okay. Shh.
Oh, I wonder where Gav's going, Ellis. What do you reckon? Do his hair.
Probably.
So you're making a note of the questions. Good. We'll come back to that in a minute. Stop turning on each other, you cunts. Are people arguing?
I haven't said it, to be fair. I was just listening to Gav, and then I was occasionally popping my eyes and perusing through, copying and pasting things. But according to Thomas from Norway, the chat was turning on themselves. So I just told them to stop doing it.
Yeah, hello, Bergie.
I don't know if it's worked.
It's probably not. Let them get on with it. They're all adults. They want to stab each other. Let them. Right, Rudy Rastos Ellis has got a question. Can someone explain to me what Ashley Maitland-Niles has done wrong? Bellerin needs to be banned. Oh no, benched for having a mare again, or banned. Easy. I did think that he's what we needed. We needed to balance up the attacking ability and the speed that Saka showed on the left-hand side with what we needed. We needed that on the right-hand side, didn't we? Well, I thought we kind of needed that because Bellerin's his production down that right-hand side isn't really all that good, is it? I mean, when you see some of the times that Saka was getting back, turning people inside out at left back and getting away with the ball, clearing people. When they scored their goal, I made I think their first goal. I made the note of Luiz and Mustafi standing there catching flies. Meanwhile, Saka, who's been a left back for 5 minutes, has grabbed hold of his man and not letting him do anything. So, yeah, tell us about Ainsley.
Yeah, I don't think he has done. He hasn't really put a foot wrong to deserve to be being dropped by Bellerin, other than the fact that I think Bellerin's obviously made a name for himself as a proper right back, and Ainsley isn't, or to himself says he's not a right back. So potentially that might be behind the manager's thinking. Also, though, Bellerin didn't really get a lot of protection, did he? Like we've just mentioned. I think Xhaka's done a good job of sort of. I'm getting tongue tested now. Xhaka has done a good job of protecting Saka because he will fill in when he bombs on. He will fill in at that sort of not quite left back, but cover the left back role quite well, and I think he does a good job of it. Whereas that wasn't happening with Ceballos when he was playing on the right of that centre mid partnership. It's just. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to make of Bellerin. I think he's had a lot of injuries that have, again, was another question, I think. So, seriously, what is a Hector Bellerin from Schwinn? I think he is, I don't know. He's not in form. He's had a lot of injuries, and it just seems to be whenever he does get into the team and does pick up a bit of form, he then picks up another injury and he's out for a while, and he just struggles to get back to the sort of young player that broke into the team all those seasons ago. I don't know. I think maybe he's sort of lost it a bit too much. He's too busy wearing strange clothes because he's a fashion icon than playing football.
Just like our very own Chris. Michael makes another good point here. He's been playing too much for someone who's not fully fit and would have been rested him today too. Your mate Fat Sam, Gav, he's put, so I think someone's had a go at Willock. He's put, if Willock is the worst you've seen, you've obviously been going long. If we had to do a list of all the players that are worse than Willock, we'd be here till at least tomorrow night. Because there has been far too many. Did you have you washed your hands, Gav? Because there's that virus going round.
Well, I haven't got a virus on my fucking John Thomas, have I?
No, there's not enough room for a virus on there, is there? Right, so
there was. It'd be a bloody big one. It'd be a huge virus. It'd be a huge virus.
Glenn in the USA, who we're going to get on a podcast as a guest, is said, just got here. Hello. So which player have the fans lit the Frankenstein mob torches for? Who would we say?
Aubameyang in the final minutes.
No, how dare you, Aubameyang?
No, all of them. Honestly, I don't think anybody apart from Saka, who is probably the only one that I've got any form of emotional involvement with. Apart from him, I don't think anybody covered themselves in any glory at all. Do you know what I mean? They was all spraying passes left, right, and centre all over the place. Not,
Kalfan Mahod says, how come Willock come on ahead of Martinelli? Seriously. And he's wrote that in capital letters, so I should have shouted it. Yeah, that is... I know Martinelli... I was listening to a podcast, and it might have been our one last night. I think it might have been Simon, actually, now I think about it. And one of the people on our show last night was saying that Martinelli has been given time off because the Brazilian season is a yearly season. It doesn't cross over, finishes at Christmas, and then when his season finished, he came straight to us in the summer when our season started, and so he hasn't had much of a rest, which is why we kept Nketiah at the club. So it's had time for him to rest. But I mean, what's he? 18 years old. Gav, you played football when you were 18, and Ellis, you played as well. Did either of you two want to go? Now I need a couple of weeks off. Well, with the chance of playing for Arsenal, you didn't, did you?
No. I was shit at football, so it probably doesn't make a difference whether I wanted to play or not.
No, I was. Like I say, by 18, I was pretty much just kicking the ball about with my mates. But we'd kick a ball. We'd kick a ball out on a Saturday and Sunday just over the park between us, in between beers and those funny smelling reefer things. But
that's legal in some states. It's legal in some states. That's okay.
Okay. So we pretend I'm in a state it's legal in.
Oh, you're in Portland, aren't you?
Yeah, Portland, Arizona. Yeah.
Oregon.
No, it's like, it's basically. I mean, it's what Arteta's doing at the moment, and I think he's actually. You've got to give some sort of credit to how Arteta's doing it. He knows that young players can get burnt out very quickly. That's why he didn't start Saka the previous game, because he didn't want to play him. He wanted to save him for tonight, and that's why Willock has been in and out, and that's why Martinelli's been in and out, because he knows that the young players are best when they're hungry, and they're best when they're not playing 3 times in bloody 7 or 8 days. So I don't think it was anything that Martinelli is out of favour, and I don't think it was anything that Eddie is out of favour. I just think that Arteta is trying to sort of play them and ease them in and ease them out. So, you know,
Don't have to worry about that anymore, then, does he?
No, but like I say, I mean, still, Dan, as you know, I've been a firm advocate of the academy players and the lack of academy players that came through from the previous manager, whose name I won't mention. But like I say, again tonight, we had 2 academy players starting and we had 3 on the bench.
Good.
And there's been about, under Arteta, more or less since he's come to us, there's been 5 or 6 academy players every single game. You add on Martinelli and Guendouzi, who are also 2 young players, then he's got about 7 players that he's got to sort of rotate in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's 18 players in a match day squad, and we've got a first team squad at the moment with about 25 fit players, that's just what's going to happen. There's going to be players rotated in and out all the time. So that's just good. It's just good practice. It isn't that anybody's out of favour. It's just good practice. Because I mean, you know, what happened to Jack? Jack got played till he almost was in bits. Do you know what I mean?
And when he got injured, he'd come back too soon, just like Ramsey, and then go injured again, and then go back too soon because we relied on him too much.
Exactly. So, like I say, I actually appreciate what Arteta is doing with regards to the academy and Guendouzi, Martinelli type players by not trying not to overplay them. The way at the moment is Saka. He's been overplayed, even though he was probably our best player on the pitch tonight.
Just good job he's so quick they can't catch him and kick him. Good point here from Chayboy72. What about the North African striker we had with all the gel in his hair, Owen Bentner? Well, that was Marouane Chamakh, who had one good season with Bordeaux as they won the French league. We got him on a free, had a good start to the season, then went, oh, I'm shit now. He stopped playing football. He's Egyptian, and he hasn't even retired yet. And Bentner, will have nothing bad said about Bentner, will we, Ellis?
Stanley, someone donated.
I know, that's the very next one. Boom, I was on it already.
Chamakh was informed. That was 9 years ago, Dan.
Shh, I'm living in the past, Gav. Colo's used cars. I heard today that he sold a 1984 Skoda Fabia estate with roof bars, and he's given us 10% commission on that sale. He says, just paying for you to read this, thanks. I don't know if has there been any more? It shouldn't. We don't deserve money for this. We should pay you lot for sitting here listening to us without a running order, just gibber on about nonsense the entire time. Right.
I'm not made of money.
No, you're not, are you? Right, so here we go. Gav, do you want to describe the farcical, to the tune of Benny Hill music, the winning goal? Or would you rather not an Ellis do it?
Ellis can do it.
Is that because you can't hold
the other one?
No, well, they had a corner. We'd fucking tried to clear it. We didn't clear it. The ball went in, and the fellas fluked it in the corner.
What did
Leno
Leno do?
Moroccan. He wasn't Egyptian. Sorry. Go on.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just correcting.
No,
myself.
that was my definition of the goal. That was it. Yeah. What do you need to know? The cunt scored, and we fucking lost.
Ellis, would you like to put a little bit of tinsel around that, tart it up, and then represent it?
I quite like that description of it, to be fair.
Hey?
They did a goal, we're shit.
There you go, people. And then they won. I put in our WhatsApp group because I said, how about it's a good idea that we go live just before the penalties, and then we can do the penalties and blah, 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 blah. And then I put, actually, there's a few minutes left to go. We might not have to go to penalties. And then what happened? Then
Jonah, that's what happened.
Hold on, Thomas from Norway's put he's put Podolski. Don't say anything bad about Podolski. He scored on only his third game for his new Turkish team at the weekend. Questions, save the pod, help us. I think Ellis is politely saying, let's move on to questions. So let's do that. Ellis, pick out the ones that we've read and don't do the ones that we haven't, or the donations.
Are we going to do the last bit of the game when Aubameyang missed?
Go on, Gav.
No, that didn't happen. Can't taint his. I'll do that bit. Ball came in. Aubameyang put it wide. Ellis, questions.
Right, let's go for it.
Oh God!
Poor old Aubameyang. If anybody on this planet is born to score from 3 inches out, and to see his face, he should have taken his shirt off and retired. Gone, no, I'm not staying at this fucking club any fucking longer, and then gone, and that'd have been it. Ellis.
Right, a long time ago. I'm not sure if this is actually a question that Thomas from Norway wanted read out, but it had a question mark at the end of it. So I copied and pasted it into our little chat box here. And Thomas from Norway says, Danny, will we get 5th or Champions League next year?
We will get 5th, but we won't get Champions League because there'll be certain members of the UEFA board will wake up one morning and it'll be raining. It'll be raining doubloons, and they'll find a brand new Ferrari, a brand new Lamborghini, a holiday home in somewhere in Saudi Arabia, and as much money as they can spend. And they'll go, no, Man City, they've been hard done by. I agree with all those. That that £80 million sponsorship deal they had with Emirates Airlines. That only actually Emirates Airlines only paid $9 million. We forgot there's a zero on there. We owe them $10 million. And no case. Thank you very much. Good night.
Lovely. Following on from that question, Gav. Do you think the current team we've got will do well in the Champions League if we somehow manage to fluke our way into that competition next season?
I think the team we've got at the moment is good enough to get a second place in the group. I don't think it's good enough to get much further than that. I mean, you've got to think Olympiakos, they were 3rd in their group with the Vermin, and who else was in the Vermin's group?
Bayern Munich, because Bayern were the only team other than us to beat them at their ground this season.
Yeah. So, like I say, as much as we're saying how poor we were tonight, we're still playing a team that dropped down from the Champions League. They were at some stage beating the Vermin. The Vermin failed to beat them at their ground. So, yeah, I mean, like I say, if the Vermin can get through a group, I think we're as good or in a better condition from them going into next season, even before any money is spent. So, yeah, like I say, it's a bit of a missed opportunity if we don't do the business in the league, really, which literally we've got to win every single game.
I suppose it's a bit of a moot point as well, because if we did manage to get into the Champions League, I guarantee we'd invest in the squad and improve it. So it's hard to say, really, isn't it?
Fat Sam's got a follow-on to that, which I'll ask you to. Would we be better off if we just had a domestic season? Do you remember the season that Chelsea finished something like 8th? Yeah. Then I think they went on the next season and won the league.
And Leicester, they won the league.
Yeah, would we be better off if we didn't have any European distractions at all next season, you two?
I think we'd be better off if we had no football at all next season.
Can't lose if we don't play.
Yeah. Unbeaten, another season unbeaten.
I don't know.
Seriously.
The sort of Chelsea, the caveat that the Chelsea team could and had the opportunity to invest a lot in their squad. We aren't really in that position to invest in the squad heavily, especially if we miss out on don't have any European competition. We'll miss out on the money that it brings. I know Europa League doesn't bring massive amounts, but it still brings us more money than if we weren't in the competition at all. I think it could help. Generally, it'd be nice not to play midweek. I wouldn't stretch the squad too thin. We'd be less likely to get injuries, although I don't think we have had many massive injuries, really. I don't think you can blame this season.
Apart from all of our defence, we've had no injuries.
Well, I know they went in and out. We've got a lot of centre backs there, haven't we, to cover the gaps?
Most of them
we fucking need them.
But we've got a lot of them, haven't we? If you like,
So I'm not really going to all of our centre backs are all much of a muchness, really, apart from Luiz. So doesn't matter if one gets injured, another average one will come in and do an average job.
Exactly. You got Holding, you got potentially Chambers, you got Luiz, you got Sokratis, and you got
Mustafi.
Obviously, not all of them are fit now, but if you've got 5 and the new fella as well, and we loaned out what's his face, the other Greek geezer, Mavropanos. So that is a lot of centre backs on the book. So
who got injured at the weekend or last weekend?
Of course he did.
Oh, Ed's here. Ed stuffed some money down your pants. He goes, I'm praying Liverpool lose soon. I'm going to go and put money on that we beat Liverpool when we play them.
I hope they win the league soon and then they just give up and concentrate on whatever competitions they're in and eventually lose a game because they just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dan, what about you, mate? Would you rather we was no European competitions?
Yes. Fuck Europe. I don't like it. Brexit means Brexit,
Dan.
Gav.
Brexit. Brexit means Brexit.
Well, I like my breakfast cold. Next question. Ellis has lost the plot.
I'm just reading through. Here's a good one. Kalito El Guna. Should we do away with the away goal rule? Danny, you first.
Well, yes, I think we should do. I think they have done this in the League Cup in this country when it was. I suppose it's to stop replays, isn't it? That's the main reason, because you don't want replays in Europe. You can't have them, so you've got to have some way.
You've got penalty shootouts, though.
I don't like penalty shootouts. Well, it doesn't mean anybody can win it, but I think UEFA are bringing in a new competition anyway. It's going to be a competition lower down than the Europa League and higher than the Intertoto Cup. There is rumours they're going to be doing that soon, so at least that's another level we can drop down to and start playing in there soon. That is an actual thing they're thinking of doing it. It's not going to be like the Cup Winners' Cup that come between the Europa League and then the Champions League. There's one that slipped in there, but I forgot the question, Ellis. No, yes.
Away goals, Dan. Away goals. Get rid of them. Come on, Dan. Stay with us. Stay with us, mate.
What would you replace it with if we got rid of them then? Like outside the box goals count more?
Chipping it in from the halfway line.
Headers and volleys.
No, look. The thing is, right, is
hide and seek.
God, Jesus. I've come on here for a sensible chat, and all you two want to do is fuck about. Do you know what I mean?
Gav.
No, with away goals, right? I understand it. If it's they should after 90 minutes of home, 90 minutes of away. If it's level, it goes to away goals. After that, when it goes to extra time, then away goals should not count in extra time, because basically what's happening, and I believe that previous manager, who name won't be mentioned, I think he's gone into this as well.
He's on our side, isn't he? He's backing us, like we used to have David Dean on the board of the FA.
Yeah,
Wenger's now doing us favours in Europe.
Well, he said that. He said that in the week that he wants to get rid of away goals. His theory was, look, when away goals was brought in, it was because it was a lot harder for teams with travel and accommodation, etc. And the away team, basically, without away goals, the away team used to literally come just to try and get a clean sheet, and wouldn't bother attacking because they would hopefully win the game at home. So that's why away goals were brought in, to try and get more attacking play from the away team. But I don't understand, and I don't think I'll ever understand, why goals scored in extra time would actually count double, which is basically why we went out tonight, because we lost in away goals in extra time. So I think it's just literally be after 90 minutes home, 90 minutes away. If it's level, away goals double. If it's not, then bang, penalties.
I never thought of it that way, really. Like, that is quite logical, because realistically that away team's then got an unfair advantage because they've got another 30 minutes to score a goal that means more than what we've had. So we've only had 90 and they've had 120. It's not really.
No, it's not. It's not a level playing pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's
no.
Like I say, and as VCC has said in the chat, it was introduced to make the games more entertaining. That's the sole reason that away goals counting double that was brought in, because otherwise you just turn up with 10 defenders and try and get away with only losing 1-0, or try and get a 0-0, or try and hit them on the break, which is just crap ball in football. So the rule was brought in to make the football more attractive. But if you keep the away goals for double for the 90 and the 90 home and 90 away, you're still going to get that attractiveness. You're just not going to get the unfair advantage to the home team in the second leg for the goals that are scored in extra time.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I suppose we as Arsenal fans think more about it because, I don't know, it's probably because I'm biased, but it seems like we're normally on the wrong side of the away goal rule. But it might just be me. But yeah, I don't think they'll ever do that, though. I think they'd either abolish it totally, or keep it in.
I don't think, like I say, I don't think they should abolish it. That's the thing. I don't think they should abolish it, but it just shouldn't. It just should not count when you go into extra time.
No, I completely
Extra
agree.
time, you should both start at 0-0 in extra time, and off you go.
Right, stop carpentering this question. No one cares enough to go on about it. Next question.
Okay, go on.
I think I have literally got to the last question.
Have you been getting the ones as we've been going through the thing?
I've been trying to, but I might have missed a few.
I'm just going to have a quick scan.
Have a scan while I ask you. Want to, if you're scanning, I'll ask Gav. Another one from Thomas from Norway. Do we know of any contracts that are running out this season? Any dead wood? Do you know, Gav?
Only the ones that are on loan.
Do we to answer it?
Go on, Danny.
Go on, Danny. You know all the facts and stats.
Oh, no, I don't. I'm just
get your spreadsheet out, mate.
Matt Macy, Pablo Mari, Cedric Suarez, and Danny Ceballos, like you're saying, the ones that are on loan. And at the end of next season, it's you shitbag! I've gone too far forward. My fat fingers. End of next season, Aubameyang, Ozil, Sokratis, Luiz, Mustafi, and Xhaka. But Saka's going to sign a new contract for life. So yes, the end of the next season. But so in this coming Christmas, Ozil, Aubameyang, Luiz, Sokratis, and Mustafi can all sign free contracts with clubs outside of the Premier League, and I bet they will do. There you go.
I've also scanned through, and there isn't any more questions since I asked for questions.
Well, isn't that lovely? That's lovely, and that's tidy. Good. Here we go. Gav, can you do a Welsh accent and give us a tappy tappy?
Tappy tappy, shippy shaggy.
Oh dear. Yes. Well, not quite.
Is that borderline racism or something then?
No, he'll just kill you when he sees you.
Okay.
Getting shot. Pablo's lost the plot. Don't talk about shooting people, Pablo, for fuck's sake. That's enough is enough. Getting inspired. Someone else to actually have a shot on target. Yeah, I think that's it, people. I think we have put you through enough nonsense and enough pain. This will be our last Thursday podcast, hopefully for quite a long time. We will be back playing on Saturday. Actually, they'll probably put us on a Monday now, won't they? Just to annoy us. Imagine that, Arsenal 3:00 Saturday kickoff. Never heard of the like.
I think we've got another
Monday night for Pompey, haven't we?
Monday night Pompey, and then there's another Monday night game as well that the TV have kindly donated to us.
Good. I don't know why they keep putting us on the telly. Maybe it's just to laugh at us, but I'm not too down. I don't care about Europe. We're never going to win it. It's not like when we had the old teams when we should have beat Galatasaray in the final. We should have beat Barcelona in the other final, and we should have beat Zaragoza in that final. Then I was angry, but all these other ones.
And Birmingham. We should have beat Birmingham in the final.
I went to that one. Jesus, what a day that was. Here we go. Final word from Thomas in Norway. The nonsense was a delight, Danny. Thanks for doing the show.
Fat Sam's got a good question.
Go on then.
We've got to do this one. Right. It's like a fucking snog marry or avoid this one.
Which Ellis sent into the show.
But I think I'd name it shoot, or shoot. Ozil, them Arsenal fan TV wankers, and Kroenke. Who do you want out first?
Kroenke, because the other two I don't mind. I don't care about. Ozil's going to be gone soon. Robbie and that lot, I don't watch it, so it doesn't bother me. And Kroenke, he's the only one holding us back because he is not going to put in the kind of money we need to go and compete as a top team. So there you go. Ellis?
I'm going to be boring as a fuck and completely agree with you because, again, Kroenke is probably the long-term problem, potentially, at the club. Ozil's only going to be there to the end of his contract. There's no way we're going to renew that. And again, same as you, AFTV, don't watch it, don't care. They can do what they like.
Yeah, Gav, try and be nice.
This is being recorded, isn't it?
Yeah. Just say none of them. You love them more than tell us afterwards.
No. So, I mean, I've never been a big lover or hater of Ozil.
Anyone could have come after the end of that sentence, couldn't it?
Yeah, no, I've never really loved him. I've never really hated him. He's just sort of like, in 20 years' time, am I going to be talking about him? Probably not. I'll still be talking about Bergkamp or Mickey Thomas or Procast or someone like that. So he don't bother me. Kroenke, to get Kroenke out, it takes a few quid. It takes a lot more money than you've had donations tonight, Dan. So that's a bit of a.
There you go, guys. Keep donating, and we'll get Kroenke out.
We need 5 billion by the end of the week.
Yeah, but the thing that is beginning to piss me off about Arsenal Fan TV, and I've been very much in your boat. Like, I don't watch it. I don't pay attention. Every now and then it comes up on my Twitter or comes up on Facebook or whatever. But the way that they've been dealing with the criticism and saying that the criticism is down to the fact that it's racist against them has really, really fucked me off.
Yeah, I did see that video where he went off onto that and that they were drugged up as well, which is neither case were right. We don't want to go on about this for too long, Gav, but I know what you mean.
No, like I say, like I say, and it's not just been that video. There's been Robbie's brothers said it, and then that fella who I can't really understand much of what he said, he was saying it as well. If you criticise Robbie, you're criticising him only because he's black, and calling Arsenal supporters racist because they criticise Arsenal Fan TV for the shit content that they put out, I think is really, really bang out of order. It's it boils my fucking blood if I'm being honest.
Holding back.
It boils my fucking No, it does. It boils my fucking blood, Dan.
Well, right? You go and tweet them then and tell them.
No, I do. I do all the time because, like I say, anybody who knows the history of Islington, right? Islington's history has been very, very diverse from day one, from the Italian immigrants that came in, around 1880. And the back end of that century, and then the Irish that came in, and then the Jamaicans and the West Indians that came in, and everybody has got on, and there's never been any racism issues at Arsenal ever. There hasn't been.
Brought up a lot in the 80s that we never had any of that at the club then.
No, exactly.
The other clubs did.
Yeah, exactly. When it was when racism, was very, very harsh at places like Chelsea, Millwall, even Tottenham to a degree. Chelsea, obviously. There was none of that over Arsenal. They tried, they failed, and that was that. I wasn't there, so I'm not really in the best place to comment. But to now say that you're only getting criticised for the content and the abuse that you hand out to players like Bellerin, Xhaka, Mustafi, and the outright abuse of the content that's put online, and then to come back and say you're only criticising us being borderline racist to players and employees of Arsenal Football Club because we are black. And I don't get that. I really, really strongly don't get that. Do you know what I mean? If you put out crap content, and sometimes I do, I get slagged off for it. And that's just how it fucking should be. But, yeah. So
we were having such a nice time, Gav, and now you've brought everyone down.
No, it's it's just how it is. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, because I was there. And, they've been horrible to some of our foreign players, but... Yes.
Yeah. I mean, one of them, the fucking prick, was fucking slagging off. Was like, Merson can say some odd things. I know that. Do you know what I mean?
I don't like Merson, but I know what you mean.
But I mean, Merson was my hero growing up. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to be Merson. I had the haircut and everything, right? But just like he's going to lose his legend status by telling the truth or telling how he sees it, and telling him to fuck off and calling him all sorts. I mean, there's no need for the shit like that.
Gets views,
I don't
though, Gav.
understand
That's
it.
what it's all about. Hits and clicks.
I don't understand it. Do you know what I mean? I really, really don't understand it. It's just...
It's not right.
There you go.
There you go, children. That's a lovely bedtime story for you. So it's all true, though. It's all true. You know your Arsenal history.
Exactly.
We're one
And
of
like
the
I say,
most multicultural and accepting clubs there are.
Exactly. Read the comments, mate. Fat Sam knows. Do you know what I mean?
Certainly does. Right, you finished now?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have another beer, and then I might watch some crap on the TV, and I'll try and forget the fucking shit state our club's in sometimes.
Do you need a little cuddle?
No, you're all right, mate. I might do when I wake up tomorrow morning. Thank fuck I ain't got to do the fucking school one.
All these people, there's a whole load of Olympiakos fans going mad, blocking them. We don't usually block people, but they've been a little bit shitty, so I've blocked all of them. Right, the final way to end the show from our mate Alonso Spencer has sent us $6 dues. Cheers, guys. Keep the faith alive and let's beat the Pompey. Well, that should be easy because they are a third tier load of shit. They're not even good enough to beat my mighty Posh. So, on that note,
last words.
yeah, don't tempt it. On that final lovely donation from Alonso. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Gav. It's been different.
Well, yeah, I mean, so far I've done 2 live shows. One was a fucking 0-0, and then this one when we lost. So I reckon, Dan, you should ban me from any live after game shows. Unless we're playing, oh fuck me, unless we're playing someone like Motherwell, right?
They're having
someone
a good
like
season.
that.
I think they're third.
Yeah, they still got. Did they get done by St Mirren? Didn't they?
Oh fuck! No, I don't know. I'm just guessing. I just know.
Yeah, no, they did. See the goal. Sorry, one of my mates follows St Mirren.
Oh. My condolences. And Ellis, thank you very much for putting up with Gav moaning on. We've gone for 1 hour and 11 minutes. We could have got this done in 10 minutes if only we'd have just stuck to describing the goals the way Gav described the third goal. We could have been home by now.
Could have done, or just talked really fast. I don't know. One or the other. But yeah, I feel the same way as Gav. I haven't been on for ages, and I come on and I've got to talk about that shower of shit. And then we'd sit there. Well, Gav talked about AFTV, and I can't think of anything witty or intelligent to say, so I'm going to hand it back over to you.
It's all true. It is all true. It's been a hard night, people. But look at the bright side. We no more horrible away days all over Europe. Going to go and get beaten up by their teams, and no more home games where they're going to come and beat us up because. I don't think we've had much luck in the Europa League. 3 seasons of it. Quite frankly, I'm now sick as that as I have of the Champions League. I don't want any European football. And as Jeremy Clarkson would say on that bombshell, we're going to go. Thank you very much for all the donations from all you lovely people. I forgot to go and click this button and then go and click this button. So I'm just going to talk it through as if I had it ready. And so thank you very much to Alonso Spencer, Ed Loud, Colo's Used Cars, Michael Hanneman, Sam Roof, Petito 100 and J Rob for all your lovely donations. I have been Josh Daw, and we will be back after the Portsmouth game on Monday. Thank you very much and good night. I never press that button.